Evacuation snacks.
Dog puke.
Kindness.
It's not the end of the world, but it's burning, and we are fine.
Thankfully.
1, 2, 3, 4. Sitting on the bench. Writing's really hard. We need another snack. And that is just a fact. Oh.
Hey, this is Shauna.
And this is Trisha.
And this is Two Girls on a Bench.
The podcast.
And we are in the middle of many fires.
It's been kind of crazy. We actually live in Thousand Oaks. So as everybody knows, last Thursday there was a horrible shooting at the Borderline Grill, which is a bar I've been to. Have you been to it?
It's been
before?
there forever.
Like over 25 years.
Since we lived here.
Since we were in college.
And, like as students.
Yeah. And my husband's band used to play there. I mean, it's forever, you know, and even my cool cousin from Santa Monica has been there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's just one of those places. I spoke to someone in New York, and he has friends that live out here who've been there, and he's like, oh, I didn't even know, you know, Thousand Oaks is like a blip of nowhere, you know, on the map.
Not anymore.
What do you think about LA? Yeah, unfortunately.
It has been like the craziest last week. And so like I know that we've sort of been in and out on social media and in and out of madness ourselves. So and we're a little bit tired and delirious at the moment, but we really wanted to do something because we're here and we should.
And we're lucky, and
we're very lucky.
We're all safe. Our homes are safe, and we aren't related directly to anyone who lost their lives either.
Thankfully.
Thank goodness. And you know, unfortunately 13 people did, and it's just, I mean, that alone was enough, but then the fires kind of it just tore everybody apart.
It's been
As far as community goes, though, the outreach of support from everybody that we're in the community with, and the podcast family, Podfix Network, and Lady Pod Squad, like just like everybody has just been like, you know, come on over. And Chris from More Go to Them was like, come to my house. And I'm like, do you realize that between us we have 4 kids, 3 dogs, and
a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah,
we're like a traveling circus.
We need a
small
bus to take us there.
And we always have to all be together. So, you know, that's a thing.
Especially when when it's super scary. It felt right to be together. It really did. So.
Well, and I mean, I don't know, should we get into the story of what happened? Or should we talk about the resources first? Or should we talk about the quote first?
Why don't you do your quote?
I have the quote, and it's about how we are right now. So here's the quote. Humor can be one of our best survival tools. Alan Klein. Apparently Alan Klein is this guy that developed this whole humor therapy thing, which I think is really cool.
I need that.
But I gotta tell you, if we did not have a good sense of humor, all of us, I don't know how we would have like dealt with some of the really annoying parts of things that just happened. So, and for everybody, it's like, I mean, people are just so amazing, the things that they do, and the firefighters, god damn it. I mean, I don't even know how they work around the clock. It's so crazy, it's so intense, it's so dangerous, and
other states have sent us firefighters.
I mean, it's crazy, and law enforcement's out there all the time too, and they're like working around the clock, like trying to evacuate people. And I will just say one public service announcement: when they even remotely tell you to evacuate, you need to evacuate. Like, don't wait. Don't like stand by your house thinking that you're going to save it. Like, because
then they have to save you.
Then they have to come in and get you.
Losing your house.
And then traffic gets insane and things get really difficult. The campfire up north has been horrible. There have been so many fatalities, and part of that is not part of it, I wouldn't say, because I think they just had a difficult route to get out of where they were, but you know, it's just so important for people to go when they say to go. Like, take it seriously if it ever happens to you in your area, whatever the disaster is.
Even
if it's a hurricane or if it's a fire or whatever, like, you can't evacuate an earthquake because you don't know it's coming. But any of those other things, just trust us on this one.
If you can see the danger from your house.
You can see fire.
Yeah, go.
Run.
Go ahead and leave. You don't have to wait to be evacuated. Just go. I mean,
down the street.
It's the worst that could happen. You leave and nothing happens, which is what happened to us actually,
which is fine.
and we were in your house was in the evacuated area, separated by like 2 streets to my house.
I know, and
was
yours
weird.
wasn't, and it was
one little slice that wasn't, but we could see the fire.
and you were like
Let's
very
go.
close to where we live, so it was
Yeah,
weird that like
I
they
could walk
only.
to Shauna's house, but
I don't know why, if it's because we're like near. Like,
you're closer to those hills on the
yeah,
side,
maybe
and
that's
to Sunset and Olsen,
where it could
more
sort
hills.
of like the fire could jump maybe
Yeah.
quicker. But
if
anyway,
it got to your house, I pretty much guarantee it would get to at least our
you
backyard.
would need to evacuate. Yeah, I know, it's weird. Anyway,
But we left. I mean, it was I think more. I think it was a precaution that was good that we took, and it's been unlucky that Sean is still trying to sell a house in the valley, but it was lucky for us because we were able to caravan out to her empty house and just sleep on the floor.
we had our own little
At 4 a.m.
shelter. Yeah. So here's what happened. So the fires were like raging, and
You could see everywhere around us was glowing. Like it was.
And I'll say, I'm not going to say where I work, but I will say that I work for a disaster relief organization, and I get a little bit paranoid about preparedness. So I started like packing some stuff the night before just because I got worried. And then I went to sleep early because I think we were all just tired and messed up. I don't remember why. And then
Well, we had just had the mass shooting that day too. So
yeah,
it was like
just
a really
upsetting.
emotional day.
Yeah, and so I went to bed and I woke up at 11 or 11:30 because we were getting all these warnings on our phones. Our phones were going off, and it said that there was Oak Park, which was hit really hard, which is a neighboring community to ours. It's like right next door, though. I mean, it's like right there. They were evacuating, and I was like, okay, it's getting closer. And so then I was like, I got up and started like packing things randomly, and then at 2, and then I just was up because I was like just worried and freaking out a little bit by myself. And then at 2, another thing went off, and it said that they were evacuating our area. And so then we all jumped up in my house. I woke up my kids. I was texting Trisha, "Are you awake?" And Trisha was like, "Yes."
We were awake because my daughter was nervous, and the wind was so rough, and the helicopters flying over.
The
constantly.
wind alone has been like,
it's crazy.
it's so scary.
Well, then yesterday it was all still, which was really eerie. But
that didn't last long.
Nope. So, well, not yesterday, the day before.
Remember one
Anyways.
time we said wind was scary? It's
Yes,
really
it is
scary now.
scary.
It's even scarier than it used to be. Well, I mean, not that it wasn't scary before, but now it's like it has a whole new level of scariness.
Well, she was sleeping with me, air quotes on sleeping, because she was up. My phone was turned on, like, so I could hear if anything came through. And I kept getting texts from family, like from like 10:30 to 2. Every like 20 minutes, somebody would text me.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? Are you okay? You know, my aunt's family is in Calabasas, so they were kind of on high alert.
Well,
and then they got evacuated.
and everybody had been like also texting us like the day before about
you
the
okay?
shooting.
Yeah.
Is everything okay? How are your
That same
kids? Are they
day.
upset? Like, what's going on? You know? And so, yeah, it was like a ridiculous time.
was a lot.
So I was texting Trisha, and then Trisha was getting
I was like, I didn't
stuff.
pack anything because I was like, we'll be fine. And then we just grabbed all this stuff.
She started grabbing stuff, and then I was like, bring this, bring that. And then I was like,
blankets, towels, which was smart. I wouldn't have grabbed blankets. I don't know why I wasn't thinking that, but
I don't even, because I knew where we were going. So I had told you the night before, I said, if we need to evacuate, we can go to my old house. It's empty. It's still mine because it's still in escrow. And the universe, I said, smiled on us because like, I was like, God damn it, this is taking forever. But it gave us a place to go because we have dogs, you know, and that's like hard
so we had your backyard and running water.
No power because I had just shut the power off, like literally like the day before. I had just like discontinued it because we were getting close to like closing the house. And so anyway.
Well, we're going to give a couple of resources here in case you want to do something to give back to those that are struggling right now.
Yes, please do. The recovery is going to be really long, everybody. There's a lot
the post-traumatic
of damage.
stress in Southern California in all of California is very high.
It is.
So for the borderline shooting, you can go to vccf.org, which is the Ventura
County Community Foundation.
Yes, and they have, as soon as you go to the website on their front page, there's a donate button, and that goes to the families and victims. families of the shooting. And then
And that's really the best thing when you're trying to support a family directly to give to a community fund. I'll just throw that out there because they actually will earmark the money and they can give to individuals.
Yeah.
And so there's like a whole process. And so it's a really legit thing to do, I would just say, just to add to that, because I know people get nervous about donating to things. So,
well, and I can also put in the show notes, there's an address. The local police station has offered to take any letters and notes that people want to write to the families. Just showing support or sending love. So I can put that in the show notes if you feel like I've had some teachers reach out to me. We're going to be getting some letters to our P.O. box for local firefighters and for the people who have been helping.
Yeah.
And to us, just saying that they hope we're okay from Melissa from Mel Brooks Reading Podcast. Mel Brooks. It's not Mel Brooks. It's Brooks.
Brooke Reading.
There's not two Brooks either.
I know. There's only one Brooke.
See, humor keeps it going.
That's the only thing we've got left.
So anyway, so if you feel like writing to the families or compelled to do something a little bit more, I'll put that in there. And then there is a bar and grill called Tavern 101, and they have been feeding the firefighters since the end of last week and all law enforcement. And you can go on Venmo and put in Tavern 101 feeds first responders, and they take donations to that name. So I'll put that in there too. Really easy way to donate. The guy's literally making Costco runs, the owner. He didn't even know if his house was okay because I think he lives in either Thousand Oaks or Oak Park. He stayed at his restaurant and he's like, the one thing I can do is cook food for people.
That's so nice.
And I put a picture on our Instagram that after the first day they'd fed over 700 firefighters.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing.
That's cool.
And talk about community support.
Yeah, this is I have to say, it's so horrible, but this is really when you see the best of humanity,
Right?
because people really do just come out and do nice shit. And it's so crazy because I don't know, it's just awesome. I mean, it's terrible that something bad has to happen for people to be nice, but
well, and it also shines a spotlight on it. I mean, they could have been being great people before this, but now it's it's very widely known.
They step up.
With this
for sure.
Up. So the other thing you can do is to donate to the Red Cross, 1-800-RED-CROSS, or you can text the word Red Cross to 90999 for a $10 donation. And I think you can also go to their website.
You can go online and do to redcross.org, and that'll take you, go to the donate page, which is I think right at the top, just click donate, and you can give directly to the California wildfires. There's a little pull down menu, and you can either donate to disaster relief in general, because God knows there's disasters going
everywhere
on all the time, or you can give directly to California wildfires. I will tell you once again on some sort of good authority that I have that the funding is used exactly for what you intend it to be used for. There are very strict guidelines, contrary to what people say, maybe online. There's a lot of misinformation online, people, so check your stuff out. But things are restricted to go directly to that. And everyone's going to be doing recovery work on this for a long time, because when people lose their homes, they have to open cases to work with them. They help them work with FEMA. They help them work with their insurance companies. So
I can't even imagine starting from zero. Ugh.
All these organizations, Red Cross, Salvation Army, Habitat for Humanity usually comes out and starts helping people rebuild. Wow. There's a lot of organizations that work to Goodwill, usually does a lot with the donation of clothing and all that kind of stuff. So donating funds to the organizations that are providing people power is really helpful. If you want to donate stuff, it's usually better to go to Goodwill. Yeah. So sorry, just throwing that out there.
No,
too.
It's good. Those are good facts. Well, and that's pretty much been our concentration on social media is local information, flare-ups. There's been a couple fire flare-ups even today. This is Tuesday. Our show's coming out late, but we had to squeeze in a minute to get together. Yeah. All right, so in true bench fashion, we did write something, so we're going to pause for a moment and bring that to you, because there's no excuse to not write. Not even fire.
Not even a fire.
Write it, bitch.
All right.
So we wrote it, bitch.
We wrote a list because I mean, let's face it, we really don't feel like writing right now. But we're going to do a list about why evacuation or evacuating sucks.
It totally sucks.
It
guys.
totally sucks.
I mean, it's good that we got out. Nothing happened to us. So that's
Have you
maybe
been
the only
evacuated
thing
before?
No.
Me either.
I've never had to do it before.
And I'm so dumb. Last year when
something-
the fires were in Ventura, I thought I was going to have to evacuate. And Shauna was like, they're so far away from you, dude.
Amal would
Like,
have to jump like so many mountains to get to
It
you. And you
would.
kept asking me if you should evacuate. And I was like, they'll
'cause we
tell
could
you
see
in your
the fire.
area
Yeah. It was
if you
just
need to
scary.
evacuate. And then this time it was
This time it
literally
was
down
like-
the street.
And that time I did pack.
I know.
And this time I could see it. Well, I didn't know until I went outside when we were actually loading the cars how close it was.
The sky was like red.
It was horrible. And
It was
the
terrifying.
wind gets really, really strong when the fire gets closer to you. Like
Yeah.
it like makes more wind. So I don't know. That probably is not scientifically correct, but whatever.
It feels
was
like it.
crazy. It felt like
Yeah.
a tornado, and
Yeah,
it was
it
blowing one direction really strong, and where
it
it was
was
coming from
towards
was
us.
red. Yeah, and so
it was
I
going
wasn't.
one way and it was towards us.
So apparently, I prepare when fire's like miles and miles away with mountains to go over, but when it's down the street, I'm like, whatever. But anyway, Shauna saved me. Saved my life.
No, I mean, well.
My children.
And then I was like, maybe we shouldn't have evacuated. I was like doubting myself the next day. But I was like, you know
No.
what? Better safe than sorry. Because like if you wait too long, then you're literally driving through
People
fire. And you don't want to
died.
be in that situation.
Yeah,
Like
people
if you don't
died
have
who
to.
waited too long in their car. They got stuck. And there's horrifying videos of people. Now, in Malibu, it did hit fast and furious.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know from the evacuation notification to how fast it got there if people had time.
Well, no, and
they
it's
were
hard.
fleeing.
And it's hard to get out of there.
One way in, one way out.
Because we're
kinda thing.
luckily right next to like a freeway that
We had
was not
two
closed
freeways.
because
Yeah.
one of the freeways was closed. But like in
Yeah.
Malibu, it's all like one road.
Yeah.
One road goes in and one goes
Yeah.
out. So it's like it's
Super
kind
scary.
of. I mean, that is scary.
Yeah.
Like I
no,
don't
I
know.
saw some videos where someone had their camera like on their dashboard and they were just like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it out of here. And
Yeah.
it's just like fire around them. Like
It's so scary.
fuck.
So
anyways,
so we fled
Evacuating
at
sucks.
3 a.m.
We did.
So that also kind of sucks.
a
Although
little
you
bit.
run on adrenaline, so it doesn't really matter.
It didn't feel like
I didn't feel tired
anything
till like the
until-
next day.
Yeah, Saturday. Okay, so one thing that sucks, I'll let Shauna say this thing because she actually experienced this.
Oh, it just cut out the microphone. Is it okay? Are we both recording still? Oh, sorry. It made a big crackling sound.
Looks like we are.
Okay, sorry. It was like maybe it was just you moving.
It
or
could have been
something.
my foot.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
stop stepping on things. All right. So, okay, getting your dogs situated in this situation is worse than people because they're like, "What's going on?"
Well,
like,
Shauna
running
has
around.
2 little dogs.
I have 2 little yappy dogs, and so they also like puke every time we get in the car and go any
They have
distance
motion sickness.
at all. Yeah, so your dog's puking on. Well, they puked on my son actually. So I wondered why when we got to the house, because he was in the car with my husband and I was with my daughter, and then you guys were in your cars behind
Yeah.
us, and. We got there and my son was standing out in the front yard with just his boxers on. And I was like, but sometimes he's kind of
You're like,
that.
put your clothes back on.
But then I realized the dogs had puked on his pants,
Oh my
and that was why
God.
he took them off. So then it all made more sense. So your dog's puking on your car in the middle of evacuating, not cool.
No.
Not fun.
Nope. And then just having to tell your kids a fire's coming, get ready to go. I didn't wake up my son, and he's almost 4. My daughter was awake because she was in my bed with me, and honestly, when she went to pack, she was super calm. She just systematically was just getting her stuff
Yeah.
together, but she picked some strange things as priorities to bring with her.
Well, before we get to that though, the thing that's funny is that we're texting. I was not texting and driving. I was having my daughter text Trisha,
Yeah.
and was just like, and then because they were like just a couple minutes behind us, and she was like, "Oh, oops, I forgot Logan." And then we were laughing because we're literally driving out. We can see the fire.
Yep.
like burning like on the ridge, like by the freeway. I mean, it was like that close.
My son
And-
was sleeping through it all. He was the last thing I packed.
And then you were,
literally.
you were like, "Oops, I almost forgot my other kid." But, I mean, you didn't.
We
but
didn't wanna
were-
wake
we were
him up
just kind of
until,
laughing about it because we're like, "Oh god."
We didn't wake him up until it was just time to like slip him into the car seat, you know. But
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, telling your kids, like waking them up, first of all. I mean, because I woke my kids up. They were asleep. And my daughter was nervous, but she was, there's something about girls. They're very organized. Like, they
It
just,
was-
like, get to
it was kind of she seemed more together than me.
Yeah,
Like,
she was a little bit like, I'm scared. And I'm like, it's going to be fine. We're okay. Go get your stuff. And so then she, like, packed her stuff. And then my son was kind of just wandering around. Like, I don't know if he was taking it seriously until we walked outside. And then he was like, oh my God.
shit.
Then both my kids were calling all their friends because everybody was up.
Everybody's
Our
right in
neighborhood
the
was
neighborhood.
evacuating. Like, people
Ours
were
was
driving
too.
out. And
Yeah.
so everybody's calling each other. The kids are all calling
all our
each
neighbors
other.
were out loading their cars.
It was so weird. That
Yeah.
part was bizarre, I have to say. But anyway, sorry, you were gonna say.
Oh, so strange things that the kids brought. My daughter, I didn't know she did this until the next day, late the next day. She went into the cabinet and I said, hey, when you're in there, grab like a thing of granola bars and throw it in your backpack. And she's like, okay, Mom, I'll get snacks. Well, she also packed some cans of beans. She really likes beans. It's like her favorite food. So refried beans, and then she packed black beans from Trader Joe's, and then some mac and cheese, a bag of white rice.
She did. Oh, I didn't see the rice.
didn't
I
see-
saw the cans because
It
she
wasn't
just like
until we
brought them
unpacked
out,
it
and we were
home.
like, "All right,
Yeah.
you got some."
Beans. She
Beans
started
here.
to unpack the food the next day into your old kitchen, and I'm like, we don't need to. She's gonna put them in the cabinets in your kitchen. It's like she
'Cause
was
we were
like,
gonna live there.
We're just gonna camp here, and we're gonna have beans, mac and cheese, and rice.
Oh my god!
So, I know, sweetie. So yeah, and then she also brought a gourd from our like Thanksgiving decorations because it was interesting, and I told her not to bring it. And she snuck it back in, and then
We grabbed our computers because
Yeah.
that's where most of our photos are. Not the old photo albums. I have to say, I was like, well, I'll lose my childhood, but I didn't want to lose my kids' childhood, so
Yeah.
I figured that
actually
was more
had-
important.
I had my old photo albums already in bins from the last time I thought I was gonna have to evacuate, so I brought those.
I brought my Winnie the Pooh doll that I've had that I call Pooh Bear. I've had him since I was 2. He is over 40. He has really seen the world. I've traveled with him to Europe. He is my buddy. And so he was like top priority in my bag. I was like making a list and I was like, I'm all medicine, blankets, Pooh Bear. It was literally on my list. I like grabbed him for, so funny.
I grabbed my sock monkey that my mom made that's my son's now, and her jewelry box, which I still have like in my room. I don't even know really what's in there anymore. I just grabbed it.
You just start grabbing shit.
And so then we evacuated to a home with no power. We didn't have enough wireless chargers, and we had all these kids who nobody could like go to sleep immediately. They needed to just like watch YouTube videos.
Meanwhile,
and just chill.
it is like 4 a.m.
No
guys.
Wi-Fi.
So we're in a living room, literally camped. Like we
Yeah.
have like
Lanterns
blankets
and
on the floor
flashlights.
and sleeping bags. We have lanterns because I didn't realize the power was going to be out. We had water, thankfully, running water, which was good. And then we were just like,
Everybody like made a
we
little
can't
spot.
plug anything in
Nothing-
to charge it. And we all
nothing.
brought like our docking stations
I
and
know.
everything. And then we brought like one charger and I was like trying to charge it in my car. The next day I was driving. You and I were
We
driving
drove
around
to charge our phones,
trying
literally.
to charge, which is a good thing to know.
But so my dog is 15 and has anxiety, and so she was, or 14, she's 14, but she was like freaking out and standing over us as we all calmed down to try and we finally like we're trying to sleep at like 4:30. It was still
Yeah.
dark, and my huge Labrador is standing over each of our heads, panting. And then click, click, click the nails on the wood floor, like walking around all of us. She kept standing over your daughter, especially.
know.
And Griselda was like, "Why do you breathe so loud?"
She was like panting in our faces.
And then
So
Logan
between
was like,
that and
Yeah.
Logan deciding that we were gonna have a party at 4:30 in the morning, he was on it.
We
He was
got
on it.
slumber party stuff, sleeping bags. Lucy had snacks, and Logan was like, "Let's go." And I was like, "Go to sleep, or you don't get a donut tomorrow." I didn't even know if we were gonna give him a donut tomorrow, and tomorrow was like today. But like,
I know he ate a bunch of donuts.
finally went
We
to
did get
sleep.
donuts. What else is like?
also, fire sucks about evacuating.
Yeah, seeing fire destroy
and
things.
we slept on
it
a
really
hardwood
sucks.
floor.
And we slept on the hardwood floor.
And we're
but
really
we're
old.
actually really grateful because we were able to take our kids and our dogs and
To a
all be
safe
together.
place.
And so at least we knew we had each other.
Yeah.
We were in a totally safe space because we were out of the danger zone.
We had plenty of beans.
And we had a lot of beans and a gourd if we needed to break
If
into
we
that
needed
for
to
some
just,
vegetables.
Have a
I had
cornucopia.
and I did have a bunch of snacks that I randomly threw in my bag.
Yeah.
So we had some
I did
Cheez-Its.
find 50 granola bars in her backpack too. She must have taken the box and just dumped everything in.
She was ready. I mean, if we
Yeah.
needed food, Lacey was on it.
Yeah,
So
and she
that's
brought
good.
every single pair of pajamas she owns. I didn't know that till later either. Because I was putting her laundry away. I'm like, why is all your pajamas gone? And she's like, oh, I packed them all just in case, Mom.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Well, unfortunately, we have to get going because we're also working and stuff
Yep.
in the middle of this. But that was kind of an abrupt ending. Sorry, everybody. But
Stay safe out
please
there.
be safe. Please,
if you can donate or use resources, please do.
Yeah, do whatever you can. Be nice to everybody around you, wherever you are in the country or the world, because we shouldn't wait till something shitty happens to be nice to each other. But
Right?
But thank God people are
There's
doing
something to be
that.
said about random acts of kindness in a normal situation,
Just all the time.
without an emergency.
Right. But,
yeah.
and keep laughing, I was going to say,
Yeah.
but that's not really our sign off.
Well, no, it's not our
Keep
sign off.
laughing on the bench.
It's good to keep humor infused in everything, and it makes it all a little easier when you can take a breath like that and laugh.
Yeah.
So, all right, everybody.
All right, so
we will-
keep writing.
Keep snacking. I
And
don't know.
keep surviving, and thank you all for being sweet to us.
Yes, we
love
appreciate
ya.
all the support. Bye.
Bye.
This was a podcast from the Podfix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.
It's not the end of the world as we know it. Oh, but it's burning.
But it's burning.
Shut.
We have to do
Okay.
it again.
Okay, ready? Go.